Hello everyone, I'm going to be reading a piece from To Kill a Mockingbird from page 117. Jem was sprawled on the sofa reading Popular Mechanics. He looked up. It ain't right. He didn't kill anybody. Even if he was guilty, he didn't take anybody's life. You know, rape's a capital offense in Alabama, said Atticus. Yes, sir, but the jury didn't have to give him death. If they wanted to, they could have given him 20 years. Given, said Atticus. Tom Robinson's a colored man, Jem. No jury in this part of the world's going to say, we think you're guilty, but not very. On a charge like that, it was either a straight acquittal or nothing. Jem was shaking his head. I know it's not right, but I couldn't figure out what's wrong. Maybe rape shouldn't be a capital offense. Atticus dropped his newspaper beside his chair. He said he didn't have any quarrel with the rape statute. None whatever, but he did have deep misgivings when the state asked for and the jury gave a death penalty on purely circumstantial evidence. He glanced at me, saw I was listening, and made it easier. I mean, before a man is sentenced to death for murder, say, there should be one or two eyewitnesses. Someone should be able to say, yes, I was there and saw him pull the trigger. But lots of folks have been hanged on circumstantial evidence, said Jem. I know, and lots of them probably deserve it, too. But in the absences of eyewitnesses, there's always a doubt. Sometimes only the shadows of doubt. The law says reasonable doubt. But I think a defendant's entitled to the shadow of a doubt. There's always a possibility, no matter how improbable, that he was innocent. Then it all goes back to the jury. Then we ought to do away with juries, Jem was adamant. Atticus tried hard not to smile, but couldn't help him. You're rather hard on us, son. I think maybe there might be a better way. Change the law. Change it so that only judges have the power of fixing the penalty in capital cases. Then go up to Montgomery and change the law. You'd be surprised how hard that'd be. I won't live to see that law change, and if you live to see it, you'll be an old man. This was not good enough for Jem. No, sir, they ought to do away with juries. He wasn't guilty in the first place, and they said he was. If you had been on the jury, son, and 11 other boys like you, Tom would be a free man, said Atticus. So far, nothing in your life has interfered with your reasoning process. Those are 12 reasonable men in everyday life. Tom's jury, but you saw something come between them and reason. You saw the same thing the night in front of the jail. When the crew went away, they didn't go as a reasonable man. They went because we were there. There was something in our world that makes men lose their heads. They couldn't be fair if they tried. In our courts, when it's a white man's word against a black man's, that white man always wins. They're ugly, but those are the facts of life. Doesn't make it right, said Jem subtly. He beat his fist softly on his knees. You can't just convict a man on evidence like that. You can't. You couldn't, but they could and did. The older you grow, the more of it you'll see. The one place where a man ought to be a square deal is in a courtroom. Be he any color of the rainbow, but people have a way of carrying their resumes right into a jury box. As you grow older, you'll see white men cheat black men every day of your life. But let me tell you something, and don't forget it. Whenever a white man does that to a black man, no matter who he is, how rich he is, or how fine a family he comes from, that white man is trash. So this book has been challenged multiple times. Recently, it has been challenged in a school district of Mississippi in 2017. It had been challenged because of the book having vulgar language. A lot of books of the time do have vulgar language, but that's just the way I believe that an author expresses itself. It also has been challenged in Minnesota because it had a lot of racial slurs. Now, I know that in today's society, there has been a lot of racism, and I believe that this book teaches a lot of that because we can see the heroism in Atticus in this book because he wants to make sure that Tom Robinson isn't convicted of this rape that they had said that he had did. I believe that this book tackles a lot on how the white community views the black community as a threat, and it also shows how, like I said before, the heroism in Atticus. So that's why I chose this book. Thank you.